All right, welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is Tank Kramer with Brandman, Brian the Grizzly, and we are going to talk about and review Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire. So we're gonna get into. There you go, got the slammer butt. Grab him by the crack right there. I saw where you're touching him. Oh, I'm missing mine, man. Making me feel. And I like that one. That one's super cute. That was super cute. Yeah. So we're gonna talk about Ghostbusters, the new weekend blockbuster that everyone was kind of hyped for, waiting for. So we're gonna get to our ratings at the end. We're gonna get into our dislikes and our likes. But real quick, do you have a synopsis, Brian?
Always do.
All
All right. The Spangler family returns to the iconic New York City firehouse where the original Ghostbusters have taken ghostbusting to the next level. When the discovery of an ancient artifact unleashes evil force, the Ghostbusters. Sorry, just lost myself. Oh no, I got started all over again. Just had it. It just. Oh.
Refreshed.
Oh my God, it just went bad. I'm gonna start that one more time. Take two. The Spangler family returns to iconic New York City firehouse where the original Ghostbusters have taken ghostbusting to the next level. When the discovery of an ancient artifact unleashes an evil force, Ghostbusters new and old must unite to protect their home and save the world from a second ice age.
Yeah. So we're gonna jump right into our likes. Brandman, what you like about this one?
I liked that they did bring it back to New York with the new cast. When you think of Ghostbusters, you think, catching ghosts in New York. So that was cool that they brought it back there. As for the new generation of Ghostbusters, I think like an actor like Paul Rudd just suits this kind of content. So he was always he was great, like he usually is. I liked the OG cast coming back. Obviously, that was great, including the character of Walter Peck, still trying to bring take the Ghostbusters down. I thought it was pretty well directed. The guy who directed it, Gil Kenan, I think the content was definitely up his alley because he co-wrote Afterlife with Jason Reitman. He did one of my favorite animated and Halloween themed movies, Monster House, which I always have to watch every year during Halloween. So I thought him taking over for Jason Reitman, he did a pretty good job directing wise. It was well acted enough, and some of the new ghost characters were cool. I'd say that those, and they didn't completely ignore Ghostbusters 2 this time. And I've always liked Ghostbusters 2, so it was kind of nice to see them kind of acknowledge that one.
All right, Brian, what did you like about this one?
I liked the story. I liked the original cast being there. I like the nostalgia. That's what I really liked. The only thing, it was very nostalgic. Everything was good. Like if you're talking about the movie, all the acting was good. I just nothing was outstanding, and that I think that was my thing. But Finn was fine. I didn't find him annoying. Celeste or Lucky, whatever. I didn't understand why she was there. I was happy Ernie Hudson has all his money. It was weird that they have this entire society there that we never knew about. He had all these engineers doing all these things, but he never told anybody else. That was a little weird, but I guess the cool thing for me was just that Ernie was doing his thing. That he was this multimillionaire of all of them. He was the one doing the best because he was the add-on, and the add-on became the great one. So I thought that was pretty cool. The whole ghost thing, talking to a ghost, I just felt like she was being so stupid. But that's going to be in my bad. So I won't. But Paul Rudd is just awesome. Paul Rudd is just awesome. I love him in these type of movies. So
yeah. That's it, or anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The popcorn buckets were really great.
Popcorn buckets were awesome. Yeah. But yeah, I gotta agree. Like the nostalgia was pretty good. You know, I it didn't. Nostalgia is like a very like a line that is very like too much, and it kind of makes the movie feel like pandering. Not enough. It's like, then why are you bothering at all? So I felt like this one, kind of rode that line pretty good, where it wasn't either or. I was like, okay, but I thought the graphics looked good. I enjoyed it. It didn't nothing looked too bad, graphics wise. I liked all the actors. I liked Kumail Nanjiani's kind of character.
Stupid part. I didn't like it. Stupid.
Yeah, I like this character. I wish it would have been handled a little bit better, but I'll get into that. But I liked the idea of his character and stuff like that. Where there's like the Ghostbusters aren't the first people to handle ghosts, and stuff like that. Like there were other things, for hundreds of years, handling it. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, yeah. That's about it. Without getting too much into what you guys already said, because I agree with what you guys said. But all right, so we'll get right into the bad stuff. Brandman, what did you not like about this movie?
I have to disagree regarding the nostalgia and the callbacks, because it seemed like the movie was almost too reliant on them. At times it felt like the callbacks were just kind of strung together into something resembling a narrative. It was just too reliant on the callbacks for me. For a movie called Frozen Empire, there sure wasn't too much Frozen Empire, or at least not as much as the trailer kind of promised. It was kind of an interesting concept, and they just didn't do enough with it. The villain looked cool, but the villain was ultimately forgettable. If we're say what?
I don't think the villain looked cool.
Yeah,
my 10-year-old laughed at it. She was like, "It looks stupid. It's like a thin man with horns."
Well,
yeah. If we're excluding Ghostbusters 2016, this is probably the most forgettable Ghostbusters villain, I thought.
Yeah.
The joke with Kumail Nanjiani basically firebending, they ran that into the ground. It started getting annoying for me. What else? Yeah, I agree, Lucky. Or I agree about the character of Lucky Brian. She didn't need to be there. She was just there just for the sake of being there.
So Wolf had like a love interest in like for 4 minutes.
Yeah. It just the movie just didn't do as much as it could have. It definitely was watchable, but it just didn't do as much as it could have with it fell flat in that regard. It was kind of a misfire on what it could have done. It had some interesting ideas, but they seemed too scared to run with them.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. They were afraid to like really explore any seriousness with certain things, which kind of sucked. Okay. Anything else?
I think that's mostly it on my end.
Okay. What about you, Brian?
Yeah, I agree with the whole not exploring the seriousness, because like the whole Gary thing, being her science teacher and then marrying her mom and being her stepdad, and they never really wanted to talk about it. That was a very serious thing that they kind of could explore. That kind of would have helped her mature as a character, and they really just laughed it off so much, and then all of a sudden just called dad. Like I just thought that was just so cringy, and I was like, why are you doing this? I talked about Lucky, the whole thing. I was like, why are you even here? You just randomly got put in there, like, hey, here you go. Another person that we didn't explain at all. I didn't understand it. I thought the villain was not villainous. That villainous. That wasn't that scary. I was like, dude, we didn't have to do anything. We didn't have to like get all New York to sing at the same time to break through this Jello mode. We didn't have to worry about the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man destroying downtown. We didn't do any of that stuff. It was kind of just, I don't know. I don't know. I think they wasted Patton Oswalt. Think that because you probably think about it, you probably don't realize that he was in the movie that much.
Yeah.
It's just let's say the Najani was just so stupid. Great, good concept,
Mm-hmm.
poorly delivered. Just it should have been better. The family aspect should have been more.
The science teacher became a biology teacher for the mom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
like they were too. As much as I like nostalgia, I think they also knew that the trap was exploding and they need to get the ghost out. Yet that's the last thing that was on their mind. Like the problem was never fixed. Like that was so stupid that you could have fixed it. You know, let's start loading 15 at a time so we don't have to worry about this. Yet they don't do it. Like they explain the problem and then they never go back to it. Just seemed very stupid. The plot just wasn't strong enough. If that's
Yeah.
what it is, I feel like they just didn't do a good job with the plot, and they didn't really give great arcs to the characters.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I leave it.
Yeah. I mean, the plot was like it's kind of boring, and also like it bounced around a lot, and yeah, that was an issue. And like I said, like I like the concept of the Fire Master, I think it was called, Kumail Nanjiani's character. I liked it, but I hate that they made him just like, you could have had him not know about the history, but instead you have him not know about the history and be a loser and be like this dude that just is like all about quick money and stuff like that. I was like you could have had him be like somebody kind of smart, kind of like Egon and Vakeman or Ray, like, oh, here's these smart guys, but they're just kind of broke, when they were in the first one and they became Ghostbusters. You could have had him been like that, like, oh yeah, like I studied stuff and this and that, but he just didn't know about this history because his grandma hid it. I feel like you could have done cool things with it, but he said you made it a joke and then you ran into the ground, like Brandon said, like a lot. So I was like, cool concept, cool idea, and then you just literally just smashed it to death. Some of the characters like Lucky, it was kind of, but for me, the stupidest thing was Phoebe. Was I'm like, come on, like because the whole time you're like, stop being stupid, kid, and you're fine. You're a genius. Stop being stupid, And I liked her her like not giving a shit, where he's like, oh, you can either behave or go to jail, and it cuts to her being like locked up. I thought that's funny, because she's like a smart ass, that's cool, but then they made her like do stupid shit, the whole ghost thing, I was like, what? So like, you're gonna do this thing you just found out the fucking day before, you're like, oh well, I'm gonna suck out my ghost, like you have no idea, like you just found out about it and now you know exactly how it works. It was like, what? And this whole thing is like, you're proving everyone why they're saying stop doing this stuff and stop being a problem, and then she keeps doing it and keeps being a problem, and it's just like, you tried making it like a teenage love story with everything, like you a lot of tropes that, like teenage tropes, that just wasn't good, and Afterlife, it fit her, everything she did fit her, and this one, it just seemed like they just needed like the smart kid and the badass kid, and they put it in one instead of like having the brother Trevor do anything. Like all he did was get slimed twice, and then like he knew how to hotwire the car back to life. It was like, what? And then he didn't do anything, So yeah, it was just, Phoebe was super annoying for me, man. Like especially towards the end, I'm like, come on, stop being a stupid kid. You're a genius. The bad guy wasn't really scary. I thought he looked okay. He wasn't like villainous, but also that's kind of what Ghostbusters does with their bad guys. Like Stay Puffed was the big bad guy. He wasn't scary.
Vigo was scary, dude.
Vigo was pretty scary.
Vigo was pretty scary. Yeah.
The whole thing, he was a painting for 95% of the movie. Like, and the actual minion was this goofy little guy that was funny. So it's like,
when you looked in his eyes, I was watching. I looked in his eyes. I was like, never again. my almost 10-year-old looked at it and she was like, he looks stupid.
Yeah.
Especially without
Yeah.
the horn. She was like, that's just looks like Thin Man.
Yeah.
He did look like a character you'd see on the real Ghostbusters animated series.
And then technically, like, Gozer was the big bad in it, but even Gozer, like she wasn't ever like, she never looked scary. You know what I mean? She looked like she came from like an 80s, you know, like hair metal band video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she was cool. You know, I mean, Stay Puft was cool. You know, but she wasn't like scary. You know, so. But I mean, that's what Ghostbusters does. So now, later, never is how we rate things here at Spoiler Kings. Now means go check it out right now. It's worth seeing it, not getting spoiled. Later means you can wait till it's on digital, on Blu-ray, and watch it at home. Never means just completely skip it altogether. Brandman, what you giving it?
I'll give it a later. The movie was okay. It kept me. It was entertaining enough in certain parts, but as far as if we're looking at like I said again, if we're excluding Ghostbusters 2016, it's probably my least favorite of them. It was just a misfire in terms of what they could have done with it, and a lot of the jokes fell flat or just kind of wore thin very fast. You know, you can wait until it's on FX or something.
Yeah,
it's a later. It's a solid later for me.
Okay, what are you, Brian?
I give it a later. It's a stay-at-home movie. I don't think it's a streaming movie. It's a stay-at-home movie. Like maybe you stream it or you buy the physical media or whatever. It's something you watch in your living room, you know, and it's fine with family, you know. And it's just kind of entertaining. It's something you do where you're talking. You can watch that, and that's just what it was. It wasn't strong enough on plot or acting or any of that stuff. So, you know, it's just something to take your mind off of what else is going on. So that's why I'm pretty much at later.
Yeah. The same for me. It's a later. It was fun enough, you know, where like Brian said, you can just throw it on TV and like, oh hey, look, there's Vakeman, you know, or oh look, there's Dan Aykroyd, you know. But you know, it wasn't boring, you know, but it wasn't like edge of the seat, like thrilling, you know, either, that I was kind of hoping for, like like old school Ghostbusters. But it was all right. You know, definitely watch it at home. You know, we rented, buy it maybe if you want to buy it, but you know, it's definitely at home. I think you'll enjoy it more. And then with the Rotten Tomatoes, that's where it's at real quick. So we have the critics, 213 critics at a 43%. 43%. So it is spoiled, rotten. And the audience though with 500 plus 85%. The audience is that's a pretty big difference, but audience is liking it a lot more than the critics. So I'm probably more somewhere in the middle. I think maybe like around 70. Well, maybe that's not the middle, but around 70, I would say. You know, I think on Letterboxd I already ranked it. If you want to follow us on Letterboxd, all our links are down below. But on Letterboxd I think I gave it a 3 out of 5. So I haven't wrote anything for it yet, but
yeah. It's about 3 out of 5.
You know, because I'm like, if Afterlife gets like a 3.5, maybe a 4, with Afterlife, Frozen Empire is like a solid 3. Like, yeah, I can't give it any more than that for sure. But and I
sounds good.
Yeah, I think on Letterboxd it's average right now between everybody is like 2.9. So yeah, but cool. So we'll see how it does in the box office. Right now, you know, it's only Saturday night, so we don't have the full weekend numbers. At least as of recording this video. So we'll keep an eye on that and see where it ends up and how well it does. Because that is going to be the ultimate deciding factor if they make another one or not. You know, so. But yeah, appreciate everyone coming in, checking us out on the replay. Leave your comment down below. Leave your rating for this movie down below. Let us know what you thought about it. Hit that like button. It helps us out so much on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button if you want to come and check us out live every Monday and Thursday. We appreciate all you guys in that replay gang. And if you're watching live, stick around because we're going to move on to our next topic.